Welcome back. Has this ever happened to you? You take something, a pill, a supplement, a treatment, and before it even has a time to work, you magically start feeling a little better. Your pain eases, your breathing softens, and you notice this shift in your body. Now, here's the uncomfortable question. Did it really work because of the treatment, or is it because you believed that it worked or is working? Because acupuncture seems to work even when people say that they don't believe in it per se. So, today I want to talk about what I call the believer effect. It's not a dismissal, it's not as it's all in your head, but something far more profound and a really cool topic to talk about. I've seen this time and time again, over and over again in the clinic setting where patients come in and they're very skeptical that acupuncture never has worked for me or never works. Patients who say, I don't really believe in this, but I'm feeling a little desperate because they're in so much pain. And then they notice that their pain decreases, their tight knots in their back, they start dissipating, their sleep improves, their digestion changes, and the nervous system that's overactive finally starts to settle. So, what is actually happening? The believer effect isn't about being naive or buying into something that isn't true. It's about how conscious expectation interacts with physiology. Belief isn't magic, it's an instruction to the body. And your body is always listening. This raises a paradox in this whole medicine. If belief plays a role, does that mean that acupuncture is fake? Or does it mean we've radically, radically underestimated the power of the human nervous system? So let's zoom out for a quick second. Acupuncture has been practiced for over 2,000 years across cultures, across continents, across medical systems. And traditionally, it's explained through chi, meridians, balance, and flow within the body. And that language doesn't really translate cleanly into the modern biomedical terms that we know in Western medicine. So, science has kind of stepped in and asked, does this actually do anything measurable? And this is where all the research kind of plays in with acupuncture. And the answer surprises a lot of people. Modern studies show that acupuncture can modulate pain signaling, affect blood flow, influence inflammatory markers, activate the nervous system. Needles don't just sit there per se. Uh, they interact with your peripheral nerves, the fascia, the mechanical receptors, the local tissue chemistry. So, yes, there is a physical stimulus, but then comes a twist. The twist, because even in research, sham acupuncture, where needles placed in non traditional points or even acupressure on non traditional points, often still produce results. And that's kind of where the whole placebo conversation just explodes. Let's just clear something up first, okay? Placebo does not mean that it's fake. Placebo means your brain initiated a real biochemical response. And when placebo is activated, we see increased activity in the prefrontal cortex of our brain, activation of the reward pathways in our brain, release in endogenous opioids, which are basically our own body's painkillers, like natural painkillers in our body, changes in your dopamine and serotonin signaling. And this isn't just imagination, this is neurochemistry working in your body. So then, when you add acupuncture into the mix, you don't just get a needle, you get a ritual that is being done in the sense of like calming your nervous system. A calm environment, a focused practitioner, touch with intention, cultural meaning, time and presence, and all of that together tells your nervous system you're safe, you're being cared for, and change is allowed and is safe. And that context amplifies the body's natural, innate healing mechanisms. And this is where the believer effect really lives. It's not acupuncture or placebo, it's kind of both together. And here's what's likely happening. Expectation primes the nervous system, lowering the threat response, increasing receptivity. The needle provides a real stimulus into your body. That's nerve signaling, that's signaling. I don't know why I can't say that word today. Tissue communication, blood flow changes, and the brain amplifies that signal through endogenous opioids, through attention and meaning. And this creates a positive feedback loop in your body and brain. Belief doesn't replace the physiology, belief enhances what is going on. And this overlaps beautifully with research on expectation-induced analgesia, pain perception modulation, and mind-body signaling. In other words, when the mind says this will help, your body then is asking, how much is this going to help? It gets me thinking, what does this mean for medicine? What does this mean for the future of integrative healing, even? And I think that it means the future cannot be reduced to just drugs, just protocols, just procedures, not because those don't work, but because they're incomplete. Modern medicine is incredible at intervening, but I think it also often forgets how to collaborate with the rest of the body. The next evolution of healthcare isn't about choosing between science or belief. It's about recognizing that belief is part of the biology. Personalized care for each person shouldn't just be this buzzword that you hear in complementary medicine. It should be a requirement. When we say personalized medicine, we usually mean genetics, biomarkers, imaging, lab values, and in Western medicine and modern medicine. But true personalization also includes meaning, context, relationship, and expectation, because the same treatment delivered in different contexts produces completely different physiological outcomes. A pill that's taken in fear is often not the same pill, and the results would not be the same when a pill is taken in trust. A procedure performed under threat activates a very different nervous system response than one performed in safety. And that's difference is very, very measurable. Belief is a biological variable. Belief isn't an opinion. It's the state of your nervous system. It alters your pain threshold, your immune signaling, hormonal cascades, and inflammatory responses in your body. So, expectation changes how the brain interprets signals from the body, and interpretation determines output. So, belief becomes a dose modifier of what's happening. Same treatment, different belief, different result. That's biology, not just philosophy. Relationship is a therapeutic intervention. And here's the part medicine really wants to kind of admit. The clinician is part of the treatment. Your tone of voice, eye contact, time spent with somebody, giving them the feeling that they're safe, heard, and seen, presence. These aren't just soft skills that some clinicians have mastered. They are neuroregulatory inputs. A patient who feels seen enters a parasympathetic state more easily, and healing does not happen in fight or flight when you're feeling like your body's being attacked. So when we ignore the relationship, we're not being neutral, we're being judgmental, we're actively limiting the outcomes of the patient's response and how they're going to heal. And this isn't about deception either. Let's be very, very clear here. This is not about lying to patients. It's not about tricking the brain. It's not about fake treatments with fake results or anything like that. Ethically, this is about transparency with intelligence. It's about saying, yes, your expectations matter, and yes, your body knows how to respond. Honoring the body's intelligence means inviting it into the healing process, not overriding it and kind of being this dictator over somebody else's body on what you want it to do. It's a symbiotic relationship between the practitioner, physician, and the person who is being taken care of. And imagine a different kind of healthcare system. Like, imagine a system that asks, what does this patient believe about their condition? What has their body learned from past medical experiences? What makes them feel safe enough to heal? And how can we engage their nervous system intentionally and not accidentally? Not as an afterthought, not as a bedside manner that you kind of just implement randomly, but as a core clinical strategy so that this person feels safe to their core in your presence. And let's be clear again, this is not unscientific, okay? This is not alternative medicine. This isn't mystical woo woo. That's systems medicine. It's neurobiology. It's evidence catching up with experience. And that, in my eyes, is the next level of medicine. That was a lot. So I want to ask you, have you ever experienced healing that felt bigger than logic could explain? How you healed or how someone around you healed? And did belief play a role in that healing? Drop your experience in the comments below. Like the video if this shifted how you see healing, how you view healing, and obviously subscribe if you want more conversations at the intersection of medicine, consciousness, and the lovely nervous system. Because the real question isn't, does belief matter? It's, why are we still pretending that it doesn't? Bye for now.